When it comes to brain teasers, word games aren't my favorite, but the New York Times Wordle is the exception. Word-based puzzles are not my strong suit, yet I often find myself comparing with my friends to see who can come up with the word in the least number of tries. If you aren't familiar with Wordle, it's a web-based word game made by Josh Wardle, where you can get 6 attempts to guess a 5-letter word. Wardle created a prototype for the game back in 2013, inspired by the color-matching game Mastermind, under the name Bugs Wordy Nugs, but it became apparent that the wide range of words made it difficult to solve. After trimming down outlier but valid words such as mosed, your name here, or crussy, it was easier to ascertain how letters might connect by trying common consonant and vowel combinations. After some time, the project was put on the back burner, but when the pandemic happened, Wordle decided to continue developing the game, evolving it into what we know today. Wordle was made public in October of 2021, but it really took off in December when he added the ability to display results as emoji squares, which, to be honest, tells you a story of how the game went. And of course, it was purchased by the New York Times in January of 2022 for an undisclosed 7-figure amount. Reddit says it's $3 million! He could have gotten it for so much more! Personally, doing the Wordle with my friends is another way for me to be connected with them, and sometimes I use it as an avenue to reach out to a friend I haven't spoken to in a while, just to spark up a conversation. However, I do not advise you breaking a no-contact clause that you might have, especially in the year 2025, and not with a Wordle or a game pigeon text or a happy birthday text. Please, your bestie did not do all that work for nothing. Please. Anyways, I've developed my own way of approaching the game, and I'm curious to see how it stacks up against other strategies that might be more optimal. And let's be so for real, there are definitely more optimal strategies than mine, but I just like to have fun when I'm playing. So, my first attempt for every game is always a word that has to do with whatever I'm doing, feeling, or seeing in the moment. For example, one time I was at a restaurant where the waitress looked like she had pearl earrings on, and so naturally I typed in pearl that day, and ended up getting pretty lucky with some yellows and greens, and I was able to solve it in 3 tries, which rarely happens. The reason why I choose a different word every day is because it makes the dopamine in my brain go. I just really enjoy it. I like the rush when a word that I choose on a whim ends up having like several yellows and greens. Although that's usually not the case, but it's super fun anyways. So I operate with the assumption that the word will likely start with a consonant rather than a vowel. If the first letter of the word is not green, but I got a yellow consonant elsewhere, I will attempt to come up with a word that does start with that letter. Sometimes I reuse letters that I know aren't in the word just so I can eliminate other letters or try placing yellow letters in different spots to see if they fit. Doing the Wordle in hard mode would prevent me from wasting guesses like that, but I don't really care. I also use X's as a placeholder, which really helps me visualize what my next word will be. It serves as a way to test if there's an X on the word without actually having to use a try, assuming my brain fills in the rest. A New York Times article I found writes about how some players start with words that have a lot of vowels in it, such as ado or audio, because it contains 3 out of 5 possible vowels. Others pick the same 2 words that eliminate as many possible letters, like with audio and tryst. I had to look that word up. It means a romantic rendezvous between lovers. If you're the type of person to care about a more optimal way, like mathematically tested, there is a Wordlebot leaderboard that shows both in normal and hard mode that Saleh is the most optimal word to start with. Of course, there are other words that can yield a pretty low guess rate on average, and the difference in averages is pretty small. So if you felt like starting with a different recommended word, at least you've got some options. So, alright, what's going on today? Let's see, something that I'm feeling, doing, or seeing. Honestly, I'm kinda hungry. How about, wait, can I type it? Yes, okay, good. Apple. No, but that's not very smart because of the 2 P's, but, yeah, chicken for chicken. With 2 C's again. No, I don't want 2 C's. I'm trying to pick potato, lettuce, green beans, beans. Yeah, I could go for some beans. All right, we got 1 E. All right, so, Fiend. Fiend. Terry. No. Teary. Yes. Okay. Yes. Let's try it. No, but there's an R. Okay, so this is what I was talking about earlier. That if I get a consonant that is yellow and not in the front, I'll place it there just to see. Red. Could be P-E-R or something E-R. Peril. Let's try peril. No. Okay, but there is an L. Maybe I should try L-E. It's not, well, it's not L-E-R. I think it, E-rel. Hello, Editing Lisa here. I accidentally pressed the toggle that makes my customized character go back to default. So that's why she looks like that. Wait. R has to be there. So oh, wait a second. Okay. Here, I think there might be a consonant after the E because I can't think of any patterns that we haven't already eliminated. Like, you can't put an A there. There's no A. Oh, I just realized I double A right here. Okay, well. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yes! Okay, so I didn't realize that the Wordle bot was behind a paywall, and I wasted my one free, look into the stats of millions of players there. But what I do remember is that thing is freaking comprehensive, man. It shows you recommendations after each word you put, and, all these stats and stuff that people do. But what I do remember seeing is that 7.2% of all players started with ado as their first word of choice, while audio came second at 4.2%. And this was a sample size of over 1.7 million people. It was about 130 when I checked these stats, by the way. Despite multiple sources citing that salé is mathematically shown to be an incredibly effective starter word. I'm not sure why people chose ado over salé. Maybe they value knowing which vowels are likely to be in there. But that's, I guess, personal preference. Definitely are more optimal ways to play the game than how I approach it, but again, using whatever word is relevant to me when I play games just gives me a fresh feeling every time I play. And I've gotten some of my friends to even adopt that method, which is pretty neat. So yeah, I encourage you to try different play styles and switch it up from time to time. If you aren't familiar with Wordle, it's a web-based word game made... If you aren't familiar with Wordle, it's a web-based...